where we lost 8 heroes, I'd say, in their line of duty. And quite a number of things happened on social media. Tonight on our show, we want to talk about social media and sensitivity. Where do we draw the line? If you are to see anything online based on the kind of content it is, what do you do as a citizen? Or if you find yourself in the shoes of probably the family members of the ones who have been deceased, what do you do? We want to talk about it. And I have my guest here. We'll be getting into that conversation shortly because here on this show, we want to, as much as possible, educate our listeners and viewers so that they know what to do at the right time, especially when it comes to the use of technology, our devices, and what we do on the internet. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN everywhere you go. Before we get into the topic and delve into it, we'll be sharing with you what has been happening in the tech space in the past week. So take a listen to the emerging tech trends. We will be back after that.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Emerging Tech Trends on Joy Geek Squad. My name is Denicia Poma AJ. In our headlines, Instagram adds location sharing and repost features. Also, Google adds guided learning to Gemini. And WhatsApp rolls out group scam alert. And finally, Spotify hikes prices outside US. Let's settle for the details now. Instagram is rolling out two major updates, a friend location sharing tool and a long-awaited repost option. The map feature, off by default, lets users share their last active location with all friends, close friends, selected contacts or no one, with options to restrict sharing at certain places or with specific people. Google is rolling out guided learning in Gemini, a toggleable feature that breaks problems into steps, asks follow-up questions, and uses interactive examples instead of giving direct answers. Powered by Google's Learn LM models, it aims to boost understanding with conversational explanations and visual aids. WhatsApp now alerts users when they are added to a group by someone outside their contacts, showing details like member count, known contacts, and the group start date. Users can leave instantly or review the chat first. WhatsApp is also testing similar scam alerts for direct messages. And finally, Spotify is raising premium prices across Europe, South Asia, the Middle East, Africa, Latin America, and Asia Pacific. Many countries will see about a €1 monthly increase, with notices going out over the next month. Some European markets like Spain, Italy, and Portugal have already implemented the change, while others recently hit with hikes are unaffected. And that's it for this week's episode of Emerging Tech Trends on Joy Geek Squad. My name is Denicia Poma AJ. Catch you same time next week.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adubia Breachum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN everywhere you go. Tonight we are having a conversation on social media and sensitivity. Where do we draw the line? There are times that you are on your phone or on your device and you get to see sometimes accident scenes or things that may have happened, and with the kind of content you see, you ask yourself, who even takes the time to record these things and upload them for others to see? We are going to have that conversation here, and my guest is in the person of Emmanuel Gadasu. Emmanuel Gadasu. He is a data protection officer and also a member of the Institute of ICT Professionals, Ghana. Before we get into the conversations, we'll just want to send our condolences to the president, family, and the loved ones of our 8 gallant heroes who passed on last week Wednesday in their line of duty to our country, Ghana. Social media and sensitivity. Where do you and draw the line? Emmanuel, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's been a while. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing very great.
Good to know. I think the main thing that has been on my mind, like I was saying earlier, is the fact that sometimes you see some of these videos and you wonder who even took courage of them. So, can we just talk about this? Why is it that people are often in a rush to just take out their phones and record scenes, sometimes of accidents, or it could even be someone drowning? I don't know whether you've ever seen that picture of someone drowning and people standing by are all holding their phones. I mean, it's just some kind of infographic though, but all of them are holding their phones and taking videos of it. Why is it that we are just in a rush to take coverage and post?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, in our modern times, a lot of people are glued to their phones. So it becomes handy to use at any point in time. But unfortunately, the social media mindset is what is gradually eroding this human sensitivity in the things that we do. So the first inclination, some as a result of shock, they don't know what to do. The only thing they have in their hand is their phone, so they start recording immediately. Then secondly, others also believe in the social media mindset. Capture it first and share it for the likes and the engagement. Then also, some also genuinely believe they are documenting by way of sharing it without thinking about the effects these things will have on others who are likely to be affected, either directly or indirectly, by the capturing that they do. So this is what is informing a lot of people to be first, sharers or brokers of the news. Yes.
So the thing is, why are we not quick to rather help? But then, like the first instance, you said the person may be in a state of shock, and what they think about doing is rather to take video coverage. Why not help? And that's the next thing that we go to do in the first place. Because it's just puzzling, right?
Yes.
That we find ourselves in an age that we have our phones handy and all. But I think that's why we are having this conversation in the first place. Because if the reason is to post it so that you get the likes, you get people who will just come on and you are the first person who brought that out, then it's not helping anyone at the end of the day.
Definitely, it is not helping in most cases. It is not, yes.
So you spoke about something in your conversation and you said is the social media mindset.
Yes.
How has that made us less compassionate in real life situations now? Because if there's a certain mindset of social media, can we look at how that is now affecting us, making us less compassionate?
Okay. Well, I'm wondering if we would ever hear breaking news and the plane or the car moving from Accra to Kumasi has landed safely. If it landed safely or it reached there safely, that is not a news. So the bad news are always the news. And unfortunately for us, behind the social media platform are algorithms that amplify things that are shared a lot, things that are most viewed, things that are most commented on. So inherently in these social media platforms, the algorithm itself amplify this thing for a lot of people to get attached to it. And unfortunately, bad news, unfortunately, take all these three things. So it makes it easier to spread and go viral than things that would rather educate, things that would rather expose us to the good side of things. So the creation of these social media platforms inherently also advances these things by themselves.
So is it human nature? Because I think this thing, we say it very often that bad news spread faster, right?
Yes.
So is it just human nature that we would rather be quick to spread the bad news rather than spread the good news?
Naturally, people are compassionate, but gradually also social media, the intention, the likes, I'm the first to broke the news, I have more viewers, followers on this particular matter, is gradually eroding that sentiment, that compassion that we have as human beings. So if care is not taken, a time will come, something bad or untoward will be happening. Everybody will just take their phone and be recording. Because that human sentiment and compassion is no longer there. Because you would prefer you being the first to broker the news to people. You would want more shares, more views and comments. So it is gradually eroding. And you could see, if you look critically at the section of people who follow and broker this news, you can see that age difference is gradually creeping in.
Yeah.
What the older generation will see and frown at, the Gen Zs and Gen Alphas will look at it and say they are liking it and spreading it more.
It's really sad. If you're just joining us, we are having a conversation on social media and sensitivity. How and when do we draw the line? Just about a week ago, we had 8 heroes of our country pass on in their line of duty. And this has really affected the whole nation. So on our show tonight, we are talking about what to spread and what not to share, especially on social media. And I'm having a conversation with Emmanuel Gadasu. He is a data protection officer. So, Emmanuel, based on what we have said right now, I think what is clear is that gradually our culture and our way of life, things are really changing. And it's all in the name of social media.
Yes.
And it doesn't look very good. But I think that's why we are having this conversation, so that we can educate both our listeners and our viewers to know what to do at what time. All right. So the question now would be, how can we encourage people to help first before they record? Because if you find yourself in that state, the person being shocked, the person wanting likes, the person, what can we tell someone so that they are more encouraged to rather help than be quick to take out their phones or devices to record?
Okay. So definitely in any situation of that sort, you can't help if you are busy filming, you are busy sharing,
That's so true.
you are busy liking. And also, let's remember, behind every viral video that goes out there is a grieving family somewhere.
That's just the sad
Behind
thing.
every viral video, there is a grieving family somewhere. There's somebody definitely who is going to suffer some consequences, either immediately or later in the years to come, as a result of what you take as a share,
Especially the negative or the bad
especially
ones.
the negative and the bad ones. And you see, unfortunately, social media, website, digital platform don't forget.
The internet doesn't forget.
It doesn't forget. It will play back definitely. So as a result of your shares, it's going to be a perpetual pain in the lives of somebody somewhere. And the question is, would you be happy if this thing is done to you? So instead of busily sharing, let's offer the help first before we start documenting.
In our country, is it possible that there could be a law passed based on this conversation that we are having?
Okay. Many people have made reference to the Data Protection Act and so many other things. Yes, if what you are sharing invades the privacy and the dignity of the individual, Section 2 of our Data Protection Act states that the duty of the Data Protection Commission is to safeguard the privacy of the individual. So in your sharing, in your enthusiasm to film and document, if it affects the privacy of an individual, a living individual, then that person could take you on.
Where do we draw the line and say this is something that is private or this is not?
Well, so personal data, information about people. So the video you are capturing, that is somebody's image you are capturing in there. The voice you are recording is somebody's information you are recording in there. The phone number you are sharing, the names, the list you are sharing, that is somebody's information. If it can be proven that it has invaded the privacy of the individual and there's a subsequent harm caused to that individual as a result of what you have done, then you are liable to the law.
Okay.
Which means, yes, your social media freak, the enthusiasm we have, would come against you one day if people take interest and would want to pursue that. So you are not absolutely free to just do, yes, freedom of speech, but there's a limitation to what you can speak about, what you can share. If it is intentionally to defame people, they can take you on, and the law will do. And recently, I think there are one or two suits in the news that we heard about prominent people suing others for defamation and others. And that one, they are going under defamation. But if you go under data protection as well, you exposing something that ordinarily wouldn't have come out or invades the privacy, thereby causing some level of harm, then you can be held liable for coming out or being the first broker of such news.
To bring that out.
Yes.
In your statement earlier, you mentioned something about when the person is living.
Yes.
Does it mean that if the person has passed on, there's a different law at play there?
Unfortunately, that is the limitation of the data protection law. It only protects living individuals. So unfortunately, deceased people are not covered under the law.
What about their families?
Because it doesn't affect them directly.
Directly.
So they may sue under other laws, but data protection will not come to your rescue under that. So I believe maybe these things are going to inform. The Data Protection Act, actually, as confirmed by the minister today, is under review. They are working on it. So maybe these things would reinforce, maybe bringing in. But globally, most of the laws are to protect natural persons, which is living individuals. Because, the deceased people cannot exercise their rights. And right is exercised by an individual. So it may be difficult. So maybe the legal experts will look into this and see how, in one or two ways, can limit how people, even though they are deceased. But, aside the law, which we have, our cultural settings, the social fiber that we have as Ghanaians, you see, there are certain things it is not expressed in law. But our way of life, the culture, how we are brought up, put a limitation on some of these things that we can do. So that also plays a great role in controlling how we manage these things. Yes.
It's interesting to know, in one of the reasons why you said people are quick to record, you mentioned it's for documentation purposes,
Yes.
right? And the question on my mind right now is, how then do we balance it? Maybe something has happened and there's a need to record it for documentation to probably indicate where the facts are. How do we balance it so that we don't go against others, talking about the law that may be in there for the data protection?
Okay. So if the intention is to document, there are times to serve as evidence, maybe. So, for example, if it's a crime that you are recording, definitely to be shared with the law enforcement agencies. Or maybe if it is something you are recording to help the emergency services to react or respond immediately, fine. Those are welcome. However, the avenue of sharing, the platform of sharing, who you are sharing to, is also very important.
Okay.
So if maybe it is in violation of societal norms and other things, or even it is private in nature, but the intention is to document, who are you sharing it with? If you go live on any of the platforms, it rather may defeat the purpose for which you intend documenting for. So if you can capture it, not on social media, but send it to the appropriate courtesies for investigation and further, interrogation to arrive at the truth, or as a supporting evidence to prosecute a crime, or to, remedy certain situations, then of course, once you capture it and you send to fire service directly, you send to the police directly, national security directly, or a credible media platform, of course, multimedia is one of them. If it's sent, the editors and other things, how they'll go about before sharing this information. You see, it will be a different way than you sharing it on social media.
That's where the whole thing is. But then, can we also look at it in the other way? Do we think when it goes live, like you're saying, or it's on social media, will it help create the kind of awareness that we may need to know that this is happening here or that has happened there. I mean, looking at it the other way around, can that be the case also? That let me go ahead and share it there so that at least people can see it and know that this is happening here at this time.
Okay. So it depends on the nature of what you are recording or what you intend to share or talk about. Is it something that would have direct influence on the individual's privacy? How sensitive is what you are recording? And the intention of the recording. There was a time I went for a funeral, and it was one of my late uncle's funeral. And whilst they were bringing the deceased body from the ambulance into the room to this, then a cousin was busily filming this. So I asked, what do you want to use that video for?
Exactly, at that time.
At that time, you capturing, yes, this is your own family member. You are capturing the deceased, but what? Who are you going to show this video to? Your children? To who? So you see, I don't know the frenzy moment of the capturing and other thing. So you see, we need to rethink the actions that we do when it comes to this gadget called phone in our hands. So it becomes too handy, and the least thing is, let me record. So for what?
I think that's a very good question we need
so
to be
you
asking
go to
ourselves.
Funerals and people have been laid in states. People go stand by that and taking a picture. What are you going to show this thing to who?
I usually wonder. Really.
What is the intention?
Seriously. That's the question we need to be asking ourselves. I think anytime we even bring out our gadgets. And we decide to take any kind of recording or any kind of
So we need to
picture.
actually pause before we post. That is very important.
I like
pause before you post. You see, there are times that I don't know whether you've posted something before, said something and you have regretted going back to delete them.
Yes,
But you see, on these viral things issue, once it goes and somebody forwards it before the
all.
deletion, it's gone. So pause before you post, thinking about the implication. People's children, families are behind.
That's the whole point. You pause before you post.
Yes.
If nothing at all, this is really something that you need to take. Pause before you post. At least think about what you are recording when you are even going to share it. Because the whole point is, what is the intention behind it?
The intention.
What is the intention behind it? And it's just sad that people sometimes don't really consider this, and they go ahead
You
to.
see, people also forget that the clicks and the shares would not replace the compassion and the help you intended giving. So you have the clicks, all right. You have the sharing and the views. But what has it contributed to the individual who is affected?
I think that's what we have to just.
It has no. It rather traumatize them. It rather add to their sorrows and their pain. So before we start sharing viral things and other, there are a lot of thinking that must go in a split second before you make that decision by posting it. Some people post and they don't even know how to even delete them back.
Yeah.
After they have regretted, they
It's
don't
true.
even know how to delete them back.
It's true.
But unfortunately, once somebody also forward it somewhere, it becomes like the content that individual has also created. So you may have deleted yours, but you can't go ahead and delete the ones that the person has shared. And it keeps on going that way. And the harm keeps on being spread around. So people will keep on seeing these things in their timelines, and you remind them of their sorrow, their pain.
It's sad. I'll say it's sad because there was a friend of mine who just had that conversation, and what the person said was, I mean, if, like we are talking about it right now, internet doesn't forget, and we have this information of people, and at the end of the day, you go and you search them out online, and these are the images that come. It could be the person in an accident, it could be anything that is not something that you would want. But that is what will come when you do the search. It doesn't help at the end of the day. It doesn't. And we are having this conversation mainly because we all want to be in that place of being our brother's keeper. Because if this is to happen to you, I don't think you will want it to be shared in the manner that someone would just pick up the phone and video an accident scene and then go ahead and share. But Ima, is it even justifiable to record an accident scene?
No, see, that's the inclination, people always being the first to post, being the first to share to get more shares and views. What's the reason for you recording it? People are in pain, and instead of you to, you see, your camera cannot save lives. Your hands can do, but the camera, the capturing can never save life. The shares will not replace the trauma you put people through. People share too graphic images, too graphic, traumatizing. Without any warning.
Yeah, without any warning.
Without any warning. You see, the pain you cause to people who may even view this aside that. And you see, in an accident nature, you see bodies lying, people in pain, and you are busily capturing this instead of you offering help.
Yeah.
Instead of you, people don't even know the emergency numbers to call, but they know the social media buttons to press to go live. Seriously, about a week ago, I wanted to do Facebook Live. I've never done it before. I struggled.
Even with you.
Yes,
and
I
all
struggled to do because I didn't know what to click because I've never done it before. But when I see people, into quotes, those who are non-IT people, they can easily go live than even the IT people. So you wonder, they are quick to go live without being considerate of the environment, who is behind them, and what the implications will be. People are in pain. People are drowning, or are in serious shock, a state of shock, and all you can do is to put them live
and be the first to share it.
You
just have that tag. I'm the one who shared this information first, and it doesn't help anyone.
It doesn't help anyone. So you are rather adding to the pain.
Yeah.
You are rather adding to the pain. And you see, not only in that instant moment, but you are keeping a generation or piling up documentation of pain for subsequent family members and others to come across these things. Like we are saying, our heroes, definitely one day will be doing a search about them, or somebody would want to report at them. And if these things are tagged in their name, you are bringing back the sorrows, the trauma people have already gone through. You are adding up to it. So it will not be in any interest whatsoever the reason is to share these things or being the first to, share this information. The comment people pass, you wonder, where is our values going? So we need to rethink these things. I know that that is not who we are. So your compassion is not in the sharing of it. It's not in the capturing of it. It's in the helping hand that you can give at the time when you see these things happening. So being quick to be the one to break it adds nothing, but you are rather worsening the situation.
You mentioned emergency numbers, and people are not even aware of what they are. And I think it would just be good for us to share that, so that at least when something happens, you know what number to call. I'm just going to go through them. The police is 191, 191. It would be good to know that the fire service 192, ambulance 193, and then the national disaster management also 0299 350030. It's good for you to know these, so that at any point in time, instead of picking your phone and being quick to record, make sure you call the emergency lines so that the right assistance will be given to people. We've spoken about the social media platforms. I want us to talk a bit about platforms, an example being Facebook and then TikTok. Can there be some kind of settings in place or features in place so that some of these sensitive information can be removed once it's picked up?
Okay. Most of these social media platforms have human beings who, when content are flagged, they go to look at it and check.
Yeah.
So you see, that also comes at the discretion of who is watching and who is behind that to determine if this is okay for him or her to okay it or to flag it to be deleted. All right. So these platforms are there, but because they are human generated or human, so the volume cannot be matched, or also until it is flagged, they may not have access to it.
So if maybe that takes a day,
so
a
if
week,
you watch, even though you don't like it, you dislike it, if you don't comment or flag it as inappropriate content, it will still go viral and be there.
Can we just go over that again?
Until it is flagged as an inappropriate content, the moderators or people, content managers, wouldn't have access to it.
So there's a responsibility on us.
Us.
When you get to see it, don't just say, I won't
What kind of images
and
they
just
flag
pass
it? Yes, flag it. So upon the flagging, the moderators will now have access to what they will see that this has been flagged. So they now go in to check what is it that is causing people. At times, if one or two people flag it, they may not have the internet. But when more people begin to flag it as an inappropriate content, it raises, because day in and day out, they may have a lot of these things to look at.
I can imagine.
So yes, so they'll be looking at the numbers and which one to look at. Maybe by the time we get to that one, because the numbers are not low, it has already gone. And you see, the moment it goes beyond these, some website will pick it. Fine, Facebook or this platform may have the moderators to delete them, but those websites, who has the moderation? Unless what? The website or administrator. Where are you going to get these people?
Where are you going to find the person?
And they are also creating content because the bad news fetches.
Yeah,
the clicks are
bloggers.
more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The bloggers
So it's a whole complex of web that we find ourselves in. But it starts from the human being first, being considerate, knowing the repercussions, implications, and the adverse effect these things will have on people and their relations.
It's very important that we take note of this. It's important that we take note of it. And I like what you just said. That option is there for you to flag. That's when you do the reports.
The
and
reporting,
then you
yes.
report whatever content it is.
Exactly.
Usually you are asked why you are reporting
Reporting.
it, and then you
Exactly.
can put the information there so that at least we can limit the spread of negative information,
yes.
making it go viral, not just negative information, but sensitive information, sensitive data. I think that's the focus. Sensitivity and social media, and where we draw the line as a people, because our compassion must come to play in what we are discussing at the end of the day. If it were you or a family member, would you do what you are doing? That's why we are saying you pause before you post. You pause before you post. You can't just go ahead and put anything there. So we're talking about it, and we've mentioned social media a number of times. Social media, when it comes to the role of traditional media, what would they do to make things also different in the conversation that we are having right now?
Okay, education is number one. You see, I don't think you planned mentioning the emergency numbers, but based on the conversation we had, we have shared an information.
Yeah.
Somebody who does not know will not come across it.
Yeah.
But you see, unfortunately, this digitization that all traditional media can now go. People are creating studios in their homes and have become authority in broadcasting by themselves. You see, it's just all about
But
going
that
live.
is dangerous. I mean, what you just said.
So it is making it very dangerous. So even drawing the line between traditional media houses. When this unfortunate incident happened last week, when I saw it on some other thing, I thought it was just one of these jokes that people were doing. So quickly, I have to go to Draw FM
I
to
also did
check.
same. I also
Because that's
did
the only
same.
place that can know that this is very authentic.
Yeah, I did same.
But you see, now individuals have become authorities in themselves, having huge followers. So such people, how are we going to control them?
Having the followers and the influence on those
They have,
people.
they have it, and they have the numbers. Some even have it more than the traditional media houses
of
online.
course. Oh,
so
of
such
course.
people, how do we bring them under control? Would that also be about maybe controlling the media, freedom of speech? Would authority also not overstep their bounds when they go into these things? So we are left with we are within a very complex web of things to do. But the traditional media too, some are seriously losing their credibility. The kind of taglines that they will give, you see, appropriately, some of the media houses also failed in what they showed. Some of them failed. It is inappropriate. How is the editorial part? It is live, but you see, we need to have people, the cameramen, the reporters on something sensitive thing. You don't say
Everybody
them.
wants juice.
Everybody wants news.
We want to spill the tea.
Yes, but at the end of the day, you see, when they look back, I'm sure some of the tradition, when they look back, they would definitely say that here we didn't do it, but it is already gone. So the traditional media houses should maintain their credibility. If they are losing it, they need to bring it back. You see, it's not all things that, you see, we may all have our own biases, But you see, when you go there, you become a professional who must be able to let people make informed decisions.
Yeah.
You don't go imposing what you think. We all have what we think.
Yeah.
At times I go on social media, want to respond to what a minister has said something. I'll write plenty, but
you
my
think
rule,
about it.
pause before you post, then I'll delete them again. Because I know the implication it will have. Somebody may misconstrue me, somebody following me or something. I remember one time when one professor, had a huge following, forwarded something. It was forwarded and he also shared it. But meanwhile, this was a scamming website.
Ooh.
So you can imagine. So if you're a media house, you have that influence and you are pushing such contests
Yeah.
based on your bias or your implication, or you want to just have the followers, so you coin it in a way. You know how the media does the headlines. By the time you read the story and what is the headlines, you ask yourself, was it a typographical mistake or something of that sort? So the traditional media need to bring this sanity back so that we can trust them. When people trust the traditional media the more, we would leave these influencers and people who are self-acclaimed, radio journalists and other
But
stuff.
I think talking about that, the dangerous thing and the sad thing at the same time is the fact that they have the numbers following them.
Yes.
You mentioned something about the different generations.
Yes.
How the Gen Zs will probably not even be listening to the radio right
No,
now.
how many Gen Zs listen to radio discussion? No.
They won't.
They won't.
So they'll be online.
Yes.
So then it means they'll just be following these people. Yeah. And in that case, how it's good that we're talking about this, but for the traditional media and the fact that we want them to be credible, it means in a way they must also find themselves in the space where the Gen Zs are also following in order to give that information that we need to have there as the right information.
The traditional media also need to create content that these people will like. But whether you like it or not, the generations are too different. And you'd want to satisfy, all at a go, or, find a way. So content that these people will also like, so that that attention can be drawn. And through that, education would go through that way. So content that the Gen Z and Alphas will like must be deliberately be created. Other than that, we leave them and they go to the other side, which are not credible, who are giving them things that they would want to. No Gen Z want to watch things more than 5 minutes for what?
Yeah, it's true.
They wouldn't watch. So they want it on the TikTok, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. They have laugh off.
Fast
they
food.
have, yes, and then they are gone. That is the nature. So the traditional media also need to adapt.
And find contents to relate to them as well.
Yes.
It's work for all of us, but I think what we are talking about and what we don't have to lose sight of is, let us not be quick to just share any information. Let us not be quick to record, especially sensitive data, sensitive information, sensitive scenes. It could be an accident scene. You don't have to be quick to go ahead and record it and start sharing in the name of getting more likes or getting more views on your social media handles. It is lives and real humans behind whatever you are doing. So it's important that we take note of this. And if you are to be at any point in time where there's any kind of accident or there's any kind of scene that you need to call emergency numbers, these are the numbers. Take note of them. For the police, it's 191 or 18555. Police is 191 or 18555. For the fire service, it's 192, and then for the ambulance is 193. National Disaster Management, the number for that is 0299 350030. 0299 350030. Take note of these, write it down somewhere. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and on X, so you can always go back to this just in case. But this conversation is so important. Let us take note of it. Before you post anything, pause, think about it before you post it. You pause before you post it. So I want us to talk a bit about our country and our culture. I know we've touched on it briefly, and what I want us to talk about is that how can we be encouraged to show more respect, because like we were saying, we had certain values in times past, but it seems that is just being lost in a way. How can we get back to that again and even encourage the younger generations that we are talking about to also be a part of this, and based on the values that we have, at least we'll desist from doing certain things of the sort.
Okay. I think gradually I think the older generations are gradually failing the younger generation in so many ways. The upbringing of children, how do you bring them up? You have children who are always glued to, their phones, digital devices, playing games online with people they don't know. So that's social interactions. We don't take our children, on family gatherings to let them learn some of these things. How many children know their villages, go to, you see, some of these things, they are embedded in there. I remember when I was in Maoli school those times, there was a time we were weeding on the field and we saw a snake. We, the villagers, we know what snake can do. We were running away. Those coming from Accra by then were chasing after the snake to look at the snake.
You don't mean that. They are not seeing the snake.
Of course, you see, where we are coming from, we know the impact of what snake can do. So we were running away. And those who have just heard snake in the textbook were chasing the snake together. I said, no, you don't know what you are doing.
Yeah.
All right. So you see, some of these values can be learned in the cultural setting.
Yes.
And we are gradually losing grips of the cultural settings. Because, for example, a deceased body, why do we cover their faces? We don't want people to see. I remember those times, children, you don't even go near. But now parents are holding their children's hand, doing what?
The foul
Foul
pass.
pass what? And they see somebody lying in state. But gone were those days, they will come past in the room. You have no right. You can't.
Yes. You're not going anywhere.
You are not going anywhere because it's not meant for children.
Yeah.
So you see, because these children don't know and have seen you, the parent, taking a selfie there, what are you teaching them? They will also grow too. So we need to bring back the culture into the lives of our children. Knowing what to do, and we have to be deliberate about this. These things are no longer taught in schools. Social and moral education, I don't know whether religious and moral education, I don't know whether those subjects are still being taught or the contents are still the same. But you see, these are the places or avenues where they can learn these things. And parents are deliberate about teaching their children, this you don't do. So if you have the phone, what do you capture, how you capture, we should start teaching them this so that they know that, no, socially, you see, legally it may be right, of course, freedom of capturing. You can capture and share anything you want, but on the other side, the cultural aspect, the implication that these things will have on us are all mentioned so that the individual can be educated. Some genuinely, they don't know.
That's true.
Some genuinely don't know it's wrong for you to do that.
That's very true.
And are we going to blame them because they don't know? You can't. They were not taught. They have no idea. So genuinely, when you explain to them, say, oh, then I will not do it again. So it must be something deliberate and forced by parents.
Talking about the fact that some people don't know, I was going to ask, should there be some kind of penalties for those who go ahead and take these videos?
If it is enshrined in law, then whether you know about the law or not, the law will come after you.
Yeah.
But when there are no laws, then we will only be guided by, our societal values that we all share together as, as living beings. That's the only one that can guide us in those settings.
That's true. The morals at the end of the day.
Yes.
What you hold dear to you.
And we are also not saying sharing is bad, but it depends on what you share. For example, if you are traveling, in the middle of the road, there is a hole, a tree has fallen, a broken bridge, and you share it and tag the necessary Ministry of Transport, GPRTU, media houses to raise awareness. This is fine. You are sharing so that everybody will become aware. But you see, when they are sent, so the ability to draw the line between what is sensitive and has implications on individuals, rather than the societal good, is what is missing here.
That's true. That's true.
That differentiation is very important. But basically, if it has to do with human lives, another individual, these are not things that should be encouraged to be shared easily. But something general for the societal good, why not? draw their attention. You've gone to a village, you see the water they are drinking, you do take a video, a picture, you tag UNESCO, you tag the president, you tag the ministry involved, and the attention is drawn to it. That one would have a direct impact of societal good.
Yeah.
It is not about an individual.
Yeah.
But the moment personalities come in, it takes a different dimension.
And what you are saying about those
About those
personalities,
persons.
or what the kind of pictures or videos you are
Yes.
taking, showing about those
Showing about,
personalities
yes.
is very, very.
So the intention is very critical in all these things that we do.
It's the intention at the end of the day.
Yes.
Seriously. But sometimes just the intention behind the act, and you can even be held liable for whatever
Exactly.
thing. The intention behind it.
It's very critical.
It's important that we look at that. So when do we have these conversations talking about digital etiquette? Should it be during the crisis, or like how do we handle it? Because it looks like last week's unfortunate incident that happened where we lost our heroes, because of that, now there's some kind of awareness that's come. So should we wait till the crisis happens before we start talking about it?
Okay. There are times that crisis teach us a lot of lessons. So I think this is the best time to learn the lessons so that we guard against future happenings. Most of the times we are prompted into action as a result of what has happened. Then we make very good decisions out of them. So yes, it has happened now. How do we guard against it? Because it has been ongoing until it got to these masses when we have lost our heroes. That is where it has even worsened, and we now need to bring it into context and guard against future occurrence. So I think this is the best time for all of us to rethink about this and how we can introduce laws, regulations guiding us. Because else, social media is gone agog with a lot of unnecessary sharing of these sensitive things. And also, when people begin to, their privacy is invaded, causing them harm, and they begin to sue. And I think this is where we also need the court and other things to offer some level of punishment. At times, it's not just allowing these people to go scot-free if they have offended. Some level of punishment to guard against this happening. Because people are just, disparaging information, talking anyhow about people, not knowing the effect it will have on them later. Yes.
I want us to talk to the person who say, I didn't even know about this in the first place. So where do I draw the line? Where do I decide that, this is something that I should go ahead and share? Or this one, let me just not take out my phone. Let me do something. What would we tell such a person?
Okay. So one, anything about another fellow human being would have implications. Whatever you share about them.
That's the first.
Yes. If
rule
it's
of law.
about another person, whatever you share about that person would definitely have an implication. It could be good or it could be bad. Either you are promoting that person for something that will draw society's attention for help, or it is something that is going to traumatize the people, going to affect their dignity, will be something they wouldn't want to remember, but you would be reminding them as a result of the sharing you have done. So the first thing is, if it is about a fellow human being, think twice. If
That's the first thing.
Yes, if it is about a fellow human being, think twice.
That can include your own family, like you're taking pictures and when you post it, just think twice before it's
Just
about a
think.
fellow human being.
Yes. Whether a family, a child, a husband, a relation, and other things. So long as it's about a human being, think twice. And know that it will have implications. So you are taking your video, somebody is a bystander, you are taking your own selfie. Somebody in there, it will definitely have some implications around these people's life. So we have to be very careful. So not because you didn't know, but today you are getting to know that it is about a fellow human being. Whether living or deceased, it will have an implication on that individual. So your excuses will no more hold because you were inconsiderate. You were not sensitive about the whole thing. And also ask yourself, if it was about me, or this information you are going to share, recording, if it's about you, and it's posted out there for people to see, something that will keep reminding your children, generations to come, to be linked to these events, how would you feel? How are you going to take it? So the likes you are also giving to people, the sharing, adding
Not
to the
reporting.
not reporting or flagging them, the viral nature, you being happy about it, you didn't like it and you didn't say anything about it. We are all adding up to these things to, flourish in this on these social media platforms. So that should serve as a guide to all of us.
It definitely has to serve as a guide. We are talking about social media and sensitivity. Where do we draw the line? This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobia Breachim. I'm having a conversation with Emmanuel Gadasu. We will be taking a listen to the quick tech fixes. We will be back after that.
Hello everyone, I am Michelle Jakum, and as usual, I bring you some tech quick fixes and tips right here on Joy Geek Squad. Fed up with spam calls? Here's how to block the noise. Here's how to silence unknown callers on iPhone. 1. Go to settings, then phone. 2. Tap silence unknown callers and toggle it on. 3. Calls from unknown numbers go straight to voicemail. Do this only if you really don't want to receive any calls from any unknown caller. Peace and quiet finally.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobia Breaching. We've been talking about social media and sensitivity. Where do we draw the line? Having a conversation with Emmanuel Gadasu. We have received some messages and I'm going to go ahead and read them. Okay, this says the reason why human beings are increasingly becoming insensitive during an emergency situation is due to a psychological phenomenon called bystander apathy. Bystander apathy occurs when people in a group expect other members of the group to lend help while they look on, and bystander apathy is itself caused by the principle of social loafing in psychology. Social loafing refers to the tendency of group members to have less sense of responsibility in a group. This is from Chief AA. Thank you so much for sharing this with us from Akachi. Thank you for sharing that with us. We also have another message, and he says, I saw my brother sharing the tragedy on his status. I quickly called him to take it off. I think that was a good one to do. You didn't add your name, but it was good that at least you called your brother and asked him to take that off. It's very important that we do that. Emmanuel, based on our conversation, what would be your final words or your parting words before we sign out?
Okay, so at the end of the day, we all need to remember that behind every video is a real person, a real family, a real story. Social media should not strip away our humanity and sensitivity. It rather should bind us together so that we can coexist and enjoy the humanity that we all deserve.
We have to first pause before we post. If nothing at all, take note of this. This has been your girl Adobia Breachum on Geek Squad. God willing, next week we will be back. Up next is news. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Gadasu, for joining me. And a very big thank you to Prince Safo and the entire team, Crispy and Anita. Up next is news by Michael Ashali. Stay tuned.